Alright, so let's do March. So obviously Jan and February all up, we're looking at 7%, which for 2 months, in my opinion, like it's good, it's profitable, still beating the market, but just looking back over the months, kind of realizing, like looking back at the trades and actually doing some self-analysis, kind of realizing, hey, I'm going to try and look at the 4 hour a bit more, show a little bit more discipline. I'm still going to log all the trades and everything else, but I've just reset March and I'm going to start again. Yep, so let's crack into it. So let's begin the analysis. Looking at March, we'll look at the 4 hour. Actually, let's look at the daily. Let's see what's going on here. So on the daily, we're looking bearish in terms of overall structure. That's the daily. That's the swing high. Price came up to the swing high. Now it's dumping. We're looking bearish in terms of on the 4 hour. We're looking bearish. However, we do have a chock here on the 4 hour, so price may look to actually sweep up to come fulfill some of these orders up here. Like if you're looking at any orders that need to be fulfilled, like obviously all of these are taken. So looking on the 4 hour, this would be like the area you'd be looking at for price to maybe want to work its way up. So we have reason for price to go up, right? Let's go down to the 15 minute. Looking at the 15 minute, it looks like if we consider this like, maybe let's just boil down to the internal structure. This was like a higher price came up, dumped, came here, fulfilled this low, so swept the high and then came down. Overall, we're looking bearish. If we look at the most closest time, like we see this zone mitigated. So in order for us to look for longs, we'd be looking at breaking this high. In order to look for sells, I'm not really seeing anything strong here until we break this low, because the internal is actually bullish. Let's go to London session. Okay, I am seeing the case for bullishness. Let's crack into it. Okay, I'm seeing bullishness is probably the way to go right now. Bang, hit our zone. It's just the candle size is too large for me to consider a buy. We do have a fake break liquidation there. The zone is now smashed. As soon as price hits a zone, I consider it mitigated. So now I wouldn't be looking for this zone to hold. I'm looking for like sells. There we go. And that's our session done for London. Let's keep it moving. I might try and make the screen a little bit smaller so you can see more of it. This is good price action. When I see price action like this, it tells me I can look for more risky entries like LC1, which I may have to. Okay. This entry here, got lid, got a decent candle size. All of these zones are mitigated. In reality, this is the final unmitigated zone. However, it's about making decisions. This is the final unmitigated zone. Do we have a reason for price to shoot up? Let's look left. Not really on the 4 hour. Not really on the daily. However, on the 4 hour, this is a A2 trade. So A2 trades in general are low probability, low to medium probability. I would consider this an LC1 trade, but with my current trading plan, I'm only trading LC2s. Okay, beautiful. So that was a win anyway. If we were to trade LC1, I'll put that in the storage bank mentally that, hey, there was a trade there. It's normally the price action I like to see. Price came up, gave us no LC2A entries. So let's go next. Let's go back to the 4 hour. So 4 hour, we're still looking at phase A2. Price has now whipped the highs. So whether or not it's swept the high and now it's going low, or whether or not we're looking at, so it's swept the high, swept the low. We're kind of looking at the lower probability side of trading. If there was a gun to my head asking, like, so this price went down and then swept the high first, overall we're looking for buys from this zone. This zone's been mitigated. If it breaks decent enough momentum, sells I think are favorable in this situation. With the zone down here that I'm going to have to be very aware of. Not high probability for me. That's an LC1 trade again, but it's just not high probability. Nothing there. Next session. Okay, now we're back in the realm of higher probability. There was a 4 hour range here. It's still dumping as a phase A2 trade. This is like the area on the 4 hour. Let's label that H4. H4. We're still looking for sells. I wouldn't really consider this a decent enough of a swing pullback. So we're still looking for sells, but these are sells of phase A2. This is the zone we'll be looking to sell from. Okay, this has broken the low. Now I'll be looking to sell from one of these zones. That's mitigated that. In terms of high probability, this would be higher probability, this zone here. That's our trading session finished. Go next. Again, price is just dumping. If we look at the 4 hour, this is definitely like phase A2 for sure. Looking at the daily, that's what we've got to kind of deal with. We've got on the weekly, what about that? On the weekly we got this. Let's look at the weekly. I actually think we're bullish from this point. Like if you look at here, it comes down, sweeps up, comes down. This is the low, hopefully wanting to go above the high. So technically you'd be hoping that price will come down to this zone here, following on the demand to then continue on high, but obviously price can do whatever it wants. 15 minute. On the weekly there's a reason for buys, but let's just follow the most current internal structure. You could say that this was internal structure and that buys other way. We definitely have like room here for price to go up to. No. Sells are back in favor in my opinion now, looking at that. I guess you could look for a buy from this extreme. If I was to say that the internal structure was, I mean, like we definitely have an LC2A here. It's phase C trade. Okay, very lucky it just smashed through my zone anyway, so not looking for buys or sells. Done. Next session. Definitely broke the high on the internal structure here. So we'd be looking for buys technically. This would be the zone here I'd be looking to buy from. Alright, you could look for buys here. Not seeing anything there that I would have actually traded. Nothing. Next. It's definitely showing us that the swing pullback's starting here on the 4 hour. I'm mainly looking for buys. Because looking at the 4 hour, this is the low that I'm looking to get taken out, but I'm looking at the swing pullback here starting. Phase C trades. Or phase A technically, because it's in line with swing. Oh, yeah. Looking for buys. Because technically, actually, this is phase A trade right here. That's an LC2A trade entry for sure. 8.1, 8.6. See if we can get a re-entry on that. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. So that's March 9th. That's 1700. Let's log this. Which is weird because last time when I did the previous video, I didn't even see this trade. I just think I was tired or whatever. So, yep, 8.1, 8.1, 0, 0. Go to the next session and see how far it ran. Wow, imagine that. 170 pips. 8 bit stop loss, what's that? 1700. You know, I didn't even see that until I just slowed down, refreshed, came back the next day. What's going on here? Is this some kind of glitch or something? Okay, let's copy these. Copy, paste. It's glitched. Okay. These cells seem to be glitched. Okay, so from here on, I'll do an X here. Sweet. Okay. Let's continue on. Yeah, I've glitched it. Okay, so at the moment we're looking at 10R, 10%, which is good. Let's keep this grind going. So the 4 hour. Okay, price is now if we say this is our 4-hour range, then we go, okay, this is our 4-hour swing high, this is a 4-hour range, price now is dumped. So we are now looking for price at some point between here and here for it to go down. What are the zones that we can see it reacting from? This zone here, which has already failed. All of these are mitigated. This is the next one. So I think price will hopefully go up to here. So I'll still have some buys left in there. Looking at this, we've got this little internal structure here. There's 9.2, 9.7. Let's keep executing. 630. Bang. Don't you hate that? Must be news. Alright, so we got 9.2. Go 0. Just go 1 pip or something like that. 0903. To 1830 from memory, London. Eurusd. That was LC2A medium. I'll go C. Let's look at, yeah, that was a phase C trade before. Yep. Okay, cool. Alright. So obviously looking at this zone is done for me. We're looking for sells from here, but it's not within our time range. Okay. So looking at this now, for me this is phase A. Price has come here, it's come into the value range of the 4-hour swing structure. Now it's switched back to the bearish side of things. It's come up and then now it's come down. Looking at the internal structure on the 15-minute, I believe that price is now looking to go down. We would call this a phase A trade. Alright, so everything looks mitigated, but so let's just wait for price to tell us where it's going to go. Okay, sweet. Now we're looking for sells from here. Okay, maybe we're looking for sells from here. Not the most highest probability zone right here. Oh, thank God for that. Probably here, and then they got swept from this candle here. This is the only zone I'm seeing here. Let's go next session. Not confident on that one. Okay, sweet. So it's still phase A. We're still looking for sells. Looking at this, bang. This is my zone right here. Bang. Okay, I'm looking for sell. That is. Yeah, so price came up, price came down, created an LC2A entry here, then came up, swept the high. No, came up, created a high, swept down. That's the LC2A entry right here. Also, this zone is phase A, and it did sweep this low here. So technically, we should be looking for price to dump This is 1630. Let's look for this cell. 15.5. It's painful to watch, man. Ah, I hate that. Alright. It's a loss at 1630. I try not to trade pre-London session, but for some reason, when I pressed London session, it still took me here, 14th March, 03. London Euro USD, LC2A, medium, phase A. Well, technically, it should be high probability because it's phase A. Because it hasn't really closed below. I guess we can look for another re-entry here. So that was 5.1 pips, wasn't it? 5.1. It probably went like 0, and then we'll probably go like 4 pips. Didn't go very far. Actually, let's do this properly. So bang. Went 7.1 pips. Okay, let's take a breath. Let's keep going. Alright, so it's deeper within the zone. Did it create a new LC2A? No, it didn't. So I can't re-enter. Price has broken this high. I guess this is overall like little swing zone structure area. This could be a zone here. Next one we're looking at is here. And then we've got the swing high here. If we do 50%, well then I'll delete this zone and delete this zone. You could structure this as like internal structure once it breaks a high, and then maybe look for a buy here. Yep, okay, it's hit one of our zones. No, we'll go back a little bit because we just rushed past it a little bit too quick. That was an entry right there anyway. Okay, what have we got here? Have we got another LC2A within anywhere here? Yes, we do. So this broke the high. This created LC2A right here. Bang. At 1955. How clear are we on this zone? Price came up, down. Came up, swept down. Bang, bang, bang. A lot of momentum in this. This is a phase B trade. Take a sell. 9.3, 9.8. There's plenty of reason for it to go down. Oh, come on. Thank God. There we go. So 14th of March at 1955. Nine point three. Let's just see what happens. Okay, so it went probably about there to a reasonable level and then would have stopped us out. So 44.9. So me already just taking the time to actually realize what zone we are in, like what area we're in, is kind of allowing me to see more entries. Like in February, what we only took like one entry. And last time I actually backtested like to the 10th of March, I only got that one entry, which was a loss. But then now that I've done another backtesting video, it's actually allowed me to actually see more entries, like just taking my time actually looking at the 4-hour structure and everything else. I'll say we'll rehash this structure again anyway. This still looks like it could actually go up. Like it might just fulfill this demand here. And then maybe come up here and fulfill some of these higher value areas. So we could still look at, if we take our time and actually read stuff, we could look at price from here, either going up here to fulfill these higher orders to then continue on the bearish structure on the 4-hour, or these supplies can hold because this zone here is mitigated, this zone here has now been mitigated. We then look for price to go lower. So yeah, in terms of probabilities, I'm going to look at the internal structure overall to just kind of tell me which zones I'm looking to take. But obviously this was like a phase B trade. Price came up, price came down, came up, down. This is now considered phase A. Come on, bastard. There we go. So this would be like phase A between the swing structure. It's already hit our high zone area. We should be looking to sell right now. Technically, if this was the London session, I would have taken that at 14.40, but I can't. It's just not within my trade plan. Okay. Price is now swing to this phase B section of this swing structure on the 15-minute. As a part of my plan, I've kind of noticed, looking at the most internal structure, a lot of times we'll win over the swingish kind of structure. So I'm going to look for buys around here and here. Let's try that. And that's out of our window. Can't trade that. Okay. Price has now completed the phase B portion of that. It's now bringing structure back lower again. In terms of zones to look for phase A trades from, this is a zone that hasn't been mitigated. This zone has been mitigated. We're looking for sells overall in this section. Probably the only zone I'm really looking about to sell here. Or if I see price now break this low, be looking for sells. Okay, now I'm looking for sells. And this would be phase A. Bang, okay. Broke through this zone here, now shooting up to our phase B trade. This should technically be an entry. This candle here is a little bit higher. Looking at the momentum, just from what I've heard from, we've been doing, this is our last unmitigated zone that needs to hold in order for us to continue on down. If we look at the 4-hour, this is our last little zone. I feel in terms of probabilities, the momentum is just unreal. It's just shooting up. But this is a practice environment. I've got 14% on the dash, and I feel like it's worth the risk, so I'll take it. It's a massive candle too, 12.7. 3. Hopefully doesn't tag us in if it's going to keep shooting up. Okay, we're tagged in and out. So what do we learn from this situation? When we see massive momentum going straight into our zone, chances are it's probably a bad idea. Also a massive candle as well. Not looking good. Okay, so looking for buys now, and we'll also log this trade and what we learned from it. So 16th of March, 1820. 1603, 22, 1820, London, Eurusd, LC2A. You would say high probability because it's a phase A trade. However, 12.7, 12.7, 0, got like 0.5 pips, probably ran. Comments. With massive momentum hitting a zone, probably not worth jumping in. I might add that to my trading plan. If I see a lot of momentum hitting a zone, to just don't jump in. Don't fight the momentum so much. So obviously at this point, all these zones look mitigated to me. We're looking for buys at this point. I would say that now we're looking at price probably coming up here to fulfill higher value area zones, and this zone here is probably going to hold. That's held. Price came up, and now it's held, and then looking to go up. That's my opinion. Okay, that's outside of our zone. Okay, beautiful. We've actually got a nice range here. This is called phase C. Looking for buys at this zone here, which we're currently at the moment, and then we're also looking for buys at this zone here. Actually, I would consider this the most recent little zone, so this would be the unmitigated extreme of this little area. Okay, there's definitely a trade within here for sure, so maybe. Let's go through the process. Alright, so let's go. Till it breaks this zone, we can't say there's a fake out, and then we go, okay. There's no LC2A entry here. I'm going to kind of read between the lines here that there's a lot of like momentum coming up here, and then sweeping the highs, sweeping the lows, sweeping the highs. This is the last little unmitigated zone of this area. There's a lot of liquidity that's been built up here. We've also got like all this liquidity that's just been taken out, and then it's hitting this unmitigated zone. I will consider this like an internal LC2A or LC1. Let's just make sure it hasn't hit our zone yet. Oof. That's hit our zone. But we didn't take it because it didn't actually meet my LC2A plan. Learning from this situation, I could have looked at not having it refined to the sell before the buy candle, have it refined to this candle before the big move up. And then that would have been a winning trade. That sucks, but it's learning, right? Okay, so we've got, this is the new little internal structure. Got that. Bang. This is our new zone. Let's go. 1900. Bang. Okay, that's the zone. See this here. Bang. Nothing. Okay, sweet. We'll go next session. Okay, now we've got a much larger range to deal with, which is good. Well, tight ranges are normally better, but we've got this zone here. What do we learn from the last trade? Maybe look for these candles here. But if you don't refine the zone, sometimes you'll take crap trades and then get wicked out. Okay. I'll consider this a zone. And maybe even this little zone. As price has now broken structure and now gone up to the upside. Have we got LC2 trade here? No, we don't. Swept through our zone, which is good. LC2A right here. Now we're looking for a zone to buy from. We need to buy. This just looks like efficient price action to me right here. This just looks like price is just dumping up. So I'm looking to buy from this zone here. Bang. Okay, we're within our zone. What time is it? There's definitely an LC2A entry here. Let's commit. So what do we got here? We got this candle here. Bang. It actually did hit and break the high, so we should all be already in this trade, which is 6.6, 7.2. Stop. Looked out. Zone failed. So let's 6.6. What date was this? 18th of March. $19.55. So that's a phase B trade. We're 0.1 of a pip basically, 0.5. 0.5. Sweet. Alright. I'm going to hold off and do another video on March, because obviously, as you can tell, I've been able to get quite a few entries here in March. I've done more in March than I have in January or February. That's probably due to the fact that I haven't been looking at the high time frames. So I'll probably do this as a separate video, and I'll do a second part, because this has already been 38 minutes. Thank you.